Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCRT Science class of 9th standard. Dear students, in the previous class we have completed the topic, that is why do we fall ill. Yes, there we have studied about the diseases and their effects and all we have studied, and also in the last period we have studied the exercises and all. Dear students, today we are going to start the third topic of chemistry, the very third topic of this academic year also, that is atoms and molecule. Atoms and molecule. See dear students, before going to study this topic, before going to know about the atoms and molecules, or we can say that atoms are the smallest particle. Generally we have studied in 8th standard and other in primary classes and in the previous year and all, that we have studied about the atom. Atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide further. That we have studied the meaning. Yes, atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide. See what happens here. We are having a chalk which is unable to divide further. We are saying the atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide further. See, I am having one chalk, and when I divide it into two, it will divide into two pieces. Then I have one throat. Then again I have taken one part. From one part I have divided again two. Then from again one part, see, I have divided into. See, I have divided into again two pieces. Two pieces. See, from two pieces again I have divided into two. Then again into two. Again into two. That is C. Again at a small point we will get at a final point. If we are going on dividing a substance into small pieces and pieces, see what happens, we will reach at a final point that is unable to divide further. That is called as the atom. See, in the search of atom, the different scientists, they studied about the atom. See, in the beginning, before in the ancient time, the Greek philosophers, the different Greek philosophers, they work on the search of atom. See, but along with that, Indian philosophers also give a lot of postulates on the basis of atom. Yes, here one name of the one scientist, that is philosopher, Indian philosopher, that is Maharishi Kanad. Maharshi Kanad, that is he gave the postulates on atom in 500 BC only. 500 BC before the Christ, that is 500 BC. It means 2500 years back only our Indian scientist or the Indian philosopher gave the idea about the atom. When that Greek philosophers they search to give the idea about the atom, that same time what happens, Indian philosopher also worked on the atom, and he postulated that if we go on dividing a matter into pieces, we will reach at a final point that we are unable to divide. Such a final point is called as the atom. He gave, that is called as the Parmanu. He told that dividing, that ultimately a time come when we shall come across the smallest particle beyond which further division will not be possible. He named this particle as a Parmanu. He told that is say 1 into 2. If we are going on dividing any matter, take the matter, it will divide. When we divide it, see, we will get a final point that is unable to divide. That final point is called as the Parmanu. Then after that, another philosopher, that is Kokuda Katayama, that is one more philosopher. then elaborate this doctorate, and he said that these particles normally existed in combined form, which give us a various forms of matter. See, Maharshi, he gave the final points, that is called as the atom. When we divide a substance into a final points, we will reach as a very final point that is unable to divide, that is called as the Parmanu. Then one more scientist came, one more philosopher came, and he gave these number of fine particles which is unable to see and which is unable to divide further. These final points combines to form the matter, isn't it? Then the same time, different the around the same era and the same time, the ancient philosopher, the ancient Greek philosopher, that is Democritus and Leucippus, suggested that if we go on dividing a matter, see what happens? A stage will come, the particle obtained cannot be divided further. That is Democritus called, that is the individual particle atom. That meaning indivisible. The Democritus says that the indivisible particle, that is called as the, when we are going on dividing a substance into pieces, then we will reach at a final point. There we are unable to divide further. That final point is called as the indivisible particle, and he named it as an atom. Atom means indivisible particle. Indivisible particle. Yes, indivisible particle which is unable to divide. Such particles are called as the atom. Atom means the Greek meaning or the Latin meaning we can say, that is the atom means indivisible particle. Yes, that is given by the name atom was given by the Democritus. The next philosopher, then in the 18th century, see, all this was based on the philosophy considerations, are not much experimentally work. See what happens, dear students? Then in the 18th century, then further the scientists they starts to work further with a number of the devices and all. They came to a final ideas about the atom. See, on the basis these are again they gave they suggested that atoms combines and forms a matter. Then see, on the basis of the combinations, see the number of atoms combines to form a particular matter. The number of atoms, suppose for example atom, the number of atoms combines to form a matter. See, on the basis of combination, the Lavoisier and Joseph Proust. Lavoisier and Joseph Proust. They gave a law. They gave the laws, that is called as the laws of chemical combinations. Laws of chemical combinations. Laws of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination. See, they gave in these laws of chemical combination, the two laws are there. The first one, the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. The second one is law of constant proportion. law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion. The two laws as given by the scientist. Isn't it? Lavoisier and Proust, that is, they gave the law of combination, laws of combination. The two laws of combinations are there. The first one is law of conservation of mass. The second one is law of constant proportion. That these are the two laws that is given by the Lavoisier. Then, see dear students, we will see the laws one by one. The first law, that is law of chemical combination. Sorry, law of chemical combination, that is law of conservation of mass. The first law we will study. Law of conservation of mass. We can define. See, later we will definition. We will say it will be better to say later. See, for that we have to discuss one activity. Here in your textbook has given one activity, that is we have taken the some chemical substances. See, the chemical substance like X, the two types of chemical substance. The first one is here, that is copper sulfate and sodium carbonate. Na2CO3, YCO3. Next, barium chloride and sodium sulfate. And sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Sodium sulfate. The next, after this one, lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice. Lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice. The next, sodium chloride. NaCl. These chemical substances we have to take separately. First law we are studying. See, they have given the chemicals. Separately, we have to take the chemicals in the separate beaker or separate bottle. See, here going to tell us, prepare a separately 5% solution of any one pair of substances listed under X and Y. X chemical substance, here is Y chemical substance. We have to prepare the 5% solutions of these both solutions. 5% solution we have to prepare first. Then separately in a beaker we have to prepare the 5% solutions. So 5% solution of X and here 5% solution of Y, that is copper sulfate. See what happens here? Separately we have prepared X and Y, that is CuSO4, and here Na2SO4. So that is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. We have taken Na2CO3. We have taken. The next, dear students, we have to take a large conical flask. Large conical flask we have to take. Round bottom, large round bottom conical flask. We have to take a large cylindrical conical flask, and in which we have taken one and take a suspended test tube, that we can say ignition test tube. Ignition test tube. Ignition test tube we have to take, small test tube, ignition test tube we can say, and in which we have to take the X, copper sulfate, anyone X we have to take, and in void, in test, in conical flask, in conical flask in conical flask we have to take Y, that is, first we have taken the Y, that is sodium carbonate, sodium Na2CO3 we have taken, Na2CO3 we have taken in C. Here in test tube A, that is we have taken the X, that is X means CuSO4. That pair of solution only we have taken. If we taken the copper sulfate in the test tube, that time we have taken what in conical flask, we have to take the sodium carbonate only. If we took the barium chloride in the test tube, that time we have to take the sodium sulfate in the conical flask. And next, lead nitrate if we taken in the test tube, then in the conical flask we have taken sodium chloride. Yes, that pair of solutions, the pair of the chemical substance only we have to take. We don't have to match with yet another substances. Yes, only the pair of substances we have to take in a separate conical flask and test tube. And tie the thread and hang it separate. Then take a rubber cork that should be fit on the outlet of the conical flask. Next, dear students, insert the ignition test tube. Insert the ignition test tube that contains the X solution, that is copper sulfate solution. That is, insert the ignition test tube. Ignition test tube we have inserted that contains X, and we have to put a rubber cork. And while inserting that, avoid the mixing of copper sulfate or the X solution which is present in the test tube. Avoid the mixing of the solution which is present in the X. Then when you insert the test tube or the ignition test tube in the conical flask which contains the Y solution, that is called as the sodium carbonate, and fit the rubber cork tightly, that should not let any gases to pass out. Should fit the tightly. Then next, tilt the conical flask in a such a way that the whatever the solution is present in the test tube, that will get mixed in the whatever the solution present in the test tube, that should get mixed with the solution which is present in the conical flask. It means the solution in the test tube that should be mixed with the conical flask. If we tilt the conical flask in that way, see what happens, that will be completely mixed out and the reaction will be going on. The reactions will be going on in this conical flask. See what happens, dear students, and the gas will be produced. And the gas should not let it out and weigh the conical flask. Before that, we have to weigh the test tube and the conical flask separately, and the chemicals also we have to weigh. See what happens, we will get a mixture. See here we have taken the copper sulfate, CuSO4, then we mix with the sodium sulfate, sodium carbonate, Na2CO3 we have taken. Then on mixing, what happens, sodium sulfate will form, then plus calcium carbonate, that is will be separate. See what happens, dear students, the mixture will form. We have to weigh See, before the mixing, we have weight, and on mixing what happens? The reaction is going on in between the two solutions. On mixing what happens? The reaction takes place, and after the reaction, we don't have to let any gas will pass out, and we have to weigh the conical flask. Is there any loss of mass after the reaction takes place or not? See what happens, dear students, on weighing, see what happens, we will get a correct mass. We will get a same mass as that of the previous constituent. Whatever the, suppose for example, this one is 50 gram. Suppose this one is a 50 gram, this one is a 50 gram. See what happens on mixing also, we will get a 100 gram. That is 100 gram of chemical substance we will get. See, by this experiment, we come to a conclusion that mass neither may create nor be destroyed. The new substance is formed, but the mass is not changed. Whatever the mass we have taken, mass means weight of chemical substance, how much we have taken, that much of chemical substance is obtained. Yes, how much we have added the substance, that much of product we got. It means mass neither we create nor we destroy. Isn't it? This experiment tells us that the mass neither we create nor we destroy. Yes? The next, dear students, the first law of conservation of mass states that the mass neither be created nor be destroyed. You have to perfect the law of conservation of mass. That is, law of conservation of mass states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Law of conservation of mass states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed. But one form of mass can be converted into the another form. One form of, that is copper sulfate and sodium carbonate, that will be converted into the new sodium sulfate and copper carbonate, that may produce. See what happens here? The new substance is produced, but the loss of mass will not happen. There is no any loss of mass occurs or gaining of mass is not occurs. Means say mass will remain same. See, by this experiment we can say that in the universe includes the number of stars, planets, the satellites, natural and artificial satellites and all, everything on the earth and all. Whatever the substances are present in the universe, that here by this law states that we cannot create an atom, or we cannot create a mass, or we cannot create an atom, and we will not destroy any atoms. Yes, whatever the atom was created during the creation of this nature, that is fixed. We will not destroy the atom, we are unable to create an atom. Understood? Whatever the atoms are created during the formation of nature, that is constant. See, hydrogen atom is there, for example, in nature, in the atmosphere, oxygen atoms are there. That if we have taken the oxygen into the body, that will convert it into carbon dioxide. Again, the carbon dioxide will go. Then again, in the plants, what happens? That with the help of this carbon dioxide, it will turn to the oxygen. Again, we have taken the oxygen. That is, oxygen molecules never gets wasted or never destroyed. Understood? That is, the atoms neither be created nor be destroyed. The atoms means whatever the atoms are having the mass neither be created nor be destroyed. That but one form of mass can be converted into the another form. Yes. The first law states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Yes. The next, dear students, of this one, the second law. This one is the first law. Now come to the second law, that is law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion. See here, Lavoisier along with the other scientists noted many compounds were composed of two or many compounds or these substances elements, and each in such a compounds have the same elements in the same proportions respectively, where the compounds came from the or prepared. See what happens is going to tell us Lavoisier. Suppose for example, the compounds you have studied in the previous topic of chemistry about the elements and compounds. If you don't know, then it will be difficult to say. First we have to know the elements. See, hydrogen is an element, carbon is an element, oxygen is an element. See, the element is a group of same kinds of atoms. You know the meaning of atom? Atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide further. The atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide further. The next, the atoms. See what happens? The elements is a group of same kinds of atoms. For example, here the atoms are there. That is hydrogen atom. All atoms are of hydrogen only. All the atoms are of hydrogen. All the atoms are of hydrogen. Yes. See, the group of same kinds of atoms. The group of same kinds of atoms is called as the element. Next, the compound means the group of same kinds of different types of compounds, different types of atoms. For example, carbon, oxygen, carbon, oxygen, oxygen, carbon. See, the group of two or more types of atoms, the group of two or more elements, the group of two or more elements is called as the compound. The elements means the group of same kinds of atoms is called as the element, isn't it? See here, during the formation of compound, see the compounds are formed by the combination of two or more elements. When two or more elements, for example, hydrogen plus oxygen, they form. The hydrogen and oxygen combines to form water. See, that is a compound. This one is a compound. This one is a compound. These are the elements. Hydrogen is an element and oxygen is also an element. Yes. See what happens when these elements combine, they form a compound. See, when two or more elements combines, they form an element. Yes. See, while formation of the compound, on forming the compounds, number of elements are combined. That combination of element that we will study in the law that is called as the law of constant proportion. The law of constant proportion. See what happens? We will study the second law, how the combination is going on in the elements or the atoms. That we will study in the next class. Thank you.